All right, Chi-Town, Inglewood, we've got liftoff. Black Republicans, where y'all at?
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Absolutely. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in the building.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying
all the way through the show
to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change.
24 years ago today, iconic rapper Tupac Shakur was shot here in Las Vegas.
The rapper was shot inside of a BMW while stopped at a red light on Koval and Flamingo. We all know the story. He then died 6 days later. The shooting happened after a Mike Tyson fight against Bruce Sheldon at MGM Grand. And then there was a brawl inside of the lobby right after that fight. Tupac was in the car with Marion Suge Knight, who was grazed by a bullet. No one has ever been arrested for Tupac's murder.
Brother,
I'm wiping it though. I'm gonna wipe it. I'm gonna say, hey.
Tori's oldest brother, between us. Tori made me at Beta. And so, he just wanted to say a few words before we let you go here.
Okay. Yeah.
Brother Thomas, thank you so much for gracing us with your appearance, man. Grateful. You expanded our nation beyond belief. It's just a wonderful thing. And we would like to present you with the Self Love Show first annual Ernest Lee Thomas Achievement Award.
Oh man.
It's apropos that you are the first recipient.
And Noop, we call it the Raj.
We're gonna call it the Raj.
Oh, I love it. Oh man.
Yeah, so we have it on order. So it's gonna come here. We're gonna show it to the show, and then myself or Tasia deliver it to you or ship it to you from there.
Thank you, brother.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Can't handle the truth. You on my frequency? Are you on my frequency?
You want to ruin their life. Shot time. Cue the music. I'm just my excuse. Today is Hump Day, September 7th, 2022, at approximately 8:41 p.m. Yeah, we got a late start, but the Self Love Show must go on. And as always, we live, live in color. We love to acknowledge that all you souls can be any place and at any time in this magnanimous universe. But thankfully, we all Scooter chose, big up Scooter, to be here together. Yeah? Here together. Down. Brother Wordsmith, what you manifesting today, bro?
Love. You know me now, and I'm manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, unfiltered, unfettered. Some say harsh. Some say tough. But it's love just the same, brother.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what's been going on in your neck of the shy since the Self Love Show?
Well, somebody had I guess they went to court and they got their charges reduced from stalking to, some shooting or whatever, what have you. They went and shot by the mayor's house, and they were initially charged him with stalking. And now they took the stalking off, but he's still, the mayor said that he was a disgruntled, he wasn't stalking her, he was just a disgruntled citizen.
Oh, wow. Was he pink?
I don't know what he was. And I didn't see no pictures or anything, so I suspect what I suspect.
Wow. Shot at the mayor's crib or the city hall?
At the crib. Said that they shot up. That's what they're saying now, whatever. But
don't they got 12 sitting out in front of the house?
Yeah. So, he must have been down the block or something. Who knows? I don't know what it was. They surely arrested him and said he was stalking, so they must have got him right outside of there.
That's bizarre, bro. That sounds bizarre that the charges have been reduced and dropped.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, there's definitely more to that story. The mayor, Lori Lightblunt, is letting on.
Hey, Chicago, the city that works.
Facts. All right. So for y'all who don't know, we got a great show lined up. We always tell you what to expect today. The Self Love Show quote of the day. Then, of course, we follow that with the More Growth and Development Program. That's the More Growth and Development Program. It's a less than 1 minute video. Tells you our platform. That's what we stand upon. That's what the Self Love Show is all about. Then, of course, we run a short video, Self Love and I, we unpack whether it's tattoo tyranny or not. Then, of course, we have our What If They Were Pink or What If They Were Black segment. And then, of course, our dome teaser. That's the riddle du jour, the riddle of the day. Your brain is a muscle. The more you use it, the more you don't lose it. So do put the answer in there. We'll give you the key at the end of the show, unless one of you chat rats out there are smart enough, dare I say, to come up with the correct key. And then, of course, our topic today is Black Republicans. Why the resurgence during these turbulent times for the B1. We're going to unpack that. And then, of course, we got next week's sneak peek. And then, of course, my favorite part of the whole shebang, that's when this brother to my right, Wordsmith's final words, he's going to summarize everything that we discussed today pretty much in a nice little off the rip, top of the dome piece of prose out there. Bit of genius. But first, announcements? Any announcements there, Self Love?
I just want to send a shout out for Jackie Jackson, Cuzzo, helped me get some debris from around the crib, boy, this morning. It was a lot.
Slacko, huh?
Yep. Give him a big old shout out.
Which y'all had the rakes out and the pool brooms?
Yeah, and it was, bags of stuff that had been there. Yeah, last year somebody didn't get, and it was like, oh, what? They left this?
Yeah, and the wind blows that stuff down there and it piles up right there at your house.
Oh yeah, you ain't never lied about that. We was talking about that while we was out there. Like all of it gets right up on that porch out there, and it was out there.
Yeah, and I just say you guys like, share, subscribe, like Self Love said, and you know we're growing in our subscriber base. We're at about 428 at last check, so that means 72 more subscribers, and you get to watch a video of myself and my wife taking a skydive, first skydive trip, facing fears. That's what this journey is all about. When we get up to 9,999 subscribers, we're a long way off, but close. That's where Self Love and I are going to spark a change that shall change the world.
Facts.
All right. If there's any black Republicans out there, we put the phone number in the chat. That's 424-900-6945. That number's
troll free. Absolutely. Troll free.
Trolls get holes around here. Feel free to text that line if you're too bashful to just put it in the public chat there. You can call that line once we get on topic. We also, Self Love Show first, we drop the chat, the link to join the chat. We're calling all black GOPs if they've got the what?
The cojones.
The cojones to pull on up. Once we get on topic, pull on up. We'd love to hear from you. Explain to the Black One Nation that you're not a sellout, that you're not a cornball, that you're not a coon. I mean, we can think of other terms that, you know what I mean, that you don't have, what's that syndrome? The pantyhose syndrome?
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Where you identify with your oppressor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love to hear from you. This is not a debate format, so you can flap your gums and, you know, we're just here to talk about it. And Self Love and I, we move with respect, and we expect all of you to do the what?
Same. Absolutely.
You're darn right. Darn Skippy. So enough of my yapping. I'm going to turn it over to this brother so he can handle his BI.
Yo, as always, we got a very important video for you to watch. It's the More Growth and Development platform, which we're building the Self Love Nation off of. And before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. The colored voters cannot help but feel that in voting the Democratic ticket in national elections, they will be voting to give their endorsement and their approval to every wrong of which they are victims and every right of which they are deprived and every injustice of which they suffer.
Colored.
Yeah. The colored voters cannot help but feel that that in voting the Democratic ticket in the national elections, they will be voting to give their endorsement and their approval at every wrong of which they are victims, every right of which they are deprived, and every injustice of which they will suffer. Representative John Lynch, Mississippi, 1930s, B1.
And that was a black man.
Yes.
Things have changed, huh, so?
Well, I don't know. And check out this very important video. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. Number 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, Heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
We're closing the gap. That's right. And numero 10 out there.
Protect our women and children at any and all means, by any and all means necessary.
Man, protect your families, people. We've discovered the best way to do that is to be of able mind, able body, able spirit, and protect yourself.
Facts. Starts with self.
Starts with self and self-love, love of self.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And self, before we go into it, can you briefly break down the science of the self? We haven't done that in quite some time.
Yeah, we all are one. We are the self. Our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, and we are all cells of the Creator.
Even Black Republicans?
All of us. They are cancer cells.
All right. Last week, if you guys missed it, do check it out. We had continued our Dead Rapper series. It's called 187 Bars. This was part 4. And we featured the late, great DJ Jam Master Jay. Yeah?
Yeah, man. I learned a lot doing that show. It was like, wow. I didn't even know.
Yeah, he's definitely underrated. I guess that's like Biggie said, you're nobody till somebody kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those words shouldn't be on the record.
Singing it.
Nope. If you're ready to die, then, somebody's going to kill you.
All right, well, we queued up a video, Self. It went viral. I don't know if you saw it. The pigs return to slop.
Nah.
I know you stay pretty unplugged, but we queued up something. Big ups to Inside Edition.
Stealing a fire hydrant. That's not a crime you hear about every day. Police in Louisville, Ohio are looking for 2 people who they say took a fire hydrant right from a residential street. Video captured on a family's doorbell camera shows a car with its trunk open, parked outside of a house. A curious dog comes to see what's going on. This took place around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the 2 people appear to struggle with the heavy object. After pausing, the pair inch along until the fire hydrant is in their trunk.
Is it a prop?
Fire hydrants are a 19th century firefighting invention because they must handle very high water pressure. Modern hydrants weigh between 149 and 500 pounds each. The Louisville, Ohio Police Department asks if you have any information on who these suspects may be to please call them at 330-875-2871. This is Inside Edition Digital.
Yeah, that.
When did the water come out when they pulled that thing up? I mean, is it a prop just to keep you from parking?
That part, I don't know. It probably has to be active. That's a. I don't know how they deal with that there. They somebody that knows that it's cut off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought those things were like you needed tools. Maybe they've been working
on it. And there was pressure.
Yeah.
They must have cut the water off or something, And that's why people are like, yeah. That's crazy though. I mean, what are they gonna do with that? They think they're gonna scrap it?
I'm thinking they probably knew it was a prop and decided they want to park there. I mean, if I'm 12, I'm investigating people who live nearby and wondering why they can't park right there. I mean, did you see they had a dog with them? Did you see the other dog? Like, you taking my toilet? Where you taking my toilet?
What are you doing?
Yeah, he was pissed. I marked that thing up.
He had a chain on too. Otherwise, he would have been. He was curious. He would have went all the way out there.
He would have.
He knew where his limit is.
Yeah, he's like, man, you know how long it took me to mark this thing up and get all those smells on there?
Yeah, it was I don't know what to park. What are they gonna do with that thing out there? I don't know. Hey,
they're probably gonna put it in the crib. Put it in the crib somewhere. But yeah, it wasn't tattoo tyranny. I don't even know why production queued that up. But
I'll say, goodness.
I mean, well, no, it's fine. But because obviously I did something wrong because it was pigs return to slop. So yeah, but that being said, yeah, that should have been pink theft.
Man.
So what I was looking at on that in our segment for what if they were black, right? I mean, did you see how happy they were? They had that happy music playing in the background.
Something skipped.
Yeah, it was probably playing in the background, and but we'll just go to it next. Because it's, pigs come home to slop would be next. But did you see the happy music that they were playing, bro? And you know, they made fun. That's, you know what I mean?
I mean, they do everything to make sure that they look like something that they're not, as far as I'm concerned, out there.
Yeah, because if that's an operating fire hydrant, you know, and a fire happens, what if that house right there would catch on fire or something? Now what are they supposed to do?
Fire hydrant.
Okay. Production sees what happened. Is that video is no longer up? It skipped it.
Yeah, it must have been running in the background because it's on my list here.
Yeah, it's on the list. But it's on my list, but I hit it in the background here, and it says something about and it went right. It said that it ain't up there no more because it went past it.
Oh, well, I got a thing that says it's been identified as inappropriate or offensive.
Oh, okay.
But you have to click confirm.
It's skipping that. That's going so fast. It's past it. I got Premiere too, so I don't know what's this about.
Oh, interesting.
Very.
Yeah, and they just added that because that wasn't on it at first.
Right.
Stealing a fire hydrant.
Okay, that's what happened. All righty.
All right. Well, let me see if I can do this the old-fashioned way. Cut your cam.
Ohio's Columbus Police Department released a video of a fatal officer-involved shooting. Authorities. Ohio's Columbus Police Department released video of a fatal officer-involved shooting.
It's not going to show it.
Authorities say it happened when officers went to serve a felony warrant.
All right, we'll just show it next week.
They said
we won't be able to show it. But, yeah, it was a video where 12 came in and shot a white boy. He was sitting in his house. He was sitting there and he was holding a vape pen. He was asleep.
Right.
Like he fell asleep with the vape in his hand. He was asleep. And 12 came. They had dog with them. They came right in and said, "Let me see your hands, hands, hands." And pow, pow, pow. Shot him in the stomach. And he bled out and died, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So,
but,
white boy.
You know. So, yeah, they want to prove it's not racist, huh?
That's probably what they're out to do. I mean, but, you know, again, Malcolm X said it when JFK was moited. You know, it's a case of the chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah.
Violence begets violence.
Yep.
All right. Well, enough of this. But before we jump to that, let me check something here real quickly. We got I'm the overseer in the chat. He said he's greater than he's greater than his excuse. Big ups, I'm the overseer. Thanks for your support.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so you guys remember, you can call in 424-900-6945. We got some stuff to unpack regarding the GOP. We know that 90% of people who look like me, they claim, are voting Democrat. I'm not buying it, but that's what they claim. And no one else votes in a block like that. So we have some of those on the other side, who aren't free and independent. They have, they're starting to rejoin the Republican Party, which is our party. So that's what we're here to unpack. Enough of the appetizers out there, self-love.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right. After this short promo video, we're going to get it going. I hope it's in there.
It is. I got to get...
Like, share, subscribe.
Hit the
tweet
bell.
Yeah. Put it on your Facebook page.
Share them far and wide.
Yeah. Facebook groups. Let's get this out there. There's
Make
no
some
content.
Yeah, make a watch party for it out there.
Yeah, there you go. Next week's show, you'll like this one, Coach. Why are so many blacks joining the grand old party?
What are the stereotypes of Republicans? White,
old,
greedy,
selfish, racist, definitely racist.
What are the stereotypes of black Republicans? Oreos,
Uncle Tom,
sell out.
Not so. Yeah. I mean, we've always had them, and that used to be our party. It's the party of Abraham Lincoln.
But there was a time when black Republicans were actually the norm.
African Americans, after the Civil War, are largely in the Republican Party. So this is where we get the phrase, the party of Lincoln. The Democratic Party is largely invested in the segregationist politics of
See her last name, and then she married outside
things
outside the demo.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt runs for president on the Democratic platform and introduces the programs of the New Deal. African Americans overwhelmingly helped re-elect FDR.
But there's been a resurgence even with this awful Donald Trump.
Well, both parties have been awful.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see
Take a look at my record, man. I
do. I understand. Okay, right? So it's like you go from an awful relationship and jump into an awfuler relationship. Can't you just choose to be single or independent?
Yeah, that's what I would choose, but I'm not.
Right. Well, that's what we're going to unpack here. And anybody's welcome to panel up. We'd love to get some of these black GOPs. Where y'all at? To panel up, huh, self? If they've got the what?
Still got them. I got mine.
going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them?
Got mine.
All right, I just realized I forgot to do the dome teaser, so we're going to jump that off real quick. Today's riddle du jour. This one's a little tricky. Got some fractions in here. They say black folks don't do math. All right. What is 3/7 chicken, 2/3 cat, and 2/4 goat? What is 3/7 chicken, 2/3 cat, and 2/4 goat? No thumbs up at you? I gotta take a look at the key because I forgot.
I think I'm gonna have to write the words out to try to figure that one out.
Yeah. I'll put it to you this way. I'll read it one last time. Alrighty. Here we go. What is 3/7 chicken, 2/3 cat, and 2/4 goat? And all of us should know the answer to this. All of us should.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know, all of us should. The answer is near and dear. Self Love got it. Yeah, he got it. The answer is near and dear to all of our hearts. I'll leave it that way for you. And that's the only hint or clue that you guys are going to be privy to, since Self Love got it without said clue. All right, so here we go. Our topic tonight is why the resurgence during these turbulent times, and the Republican resurgence, black Republicans during these times, B1. Donald Trump, the Pride Boys, MAGA, Make America Happy Again, the Tea Party, BLM, political unrest, poor economy, so trends in party affiliation among black voters have been largely stable in the past. Overall, 87% of your black voters out there identify with the Democratic Party or lean Democratic, compared with just 7% who've identified as Republicans or lean conservative. Trends in party affiliation among black voters have been largely stable. So that's what we're breaking down, why the move towards the GOP, the GOP. It's a slight move, but during these times, I would expect it. Well, I don't want to, All right, so the purpose of this show is, who are the black Republicans? Why are they joining? Are they sellouts? Coons? And we want to open minds. Can we say coons on, can we say coons, Self Love, on the Self Love?
Absolutely. We definitely can say coons.
All right.
Because a coon is a coon. So, raccoon, a coon is the same, basic situation. But We can't worry about that part. Coons
All
is
right.
allowed.
All right. Self Love says Coons is a go. All right. So now, when historically did the B1 flee from the Republican Party? Got any idea when that took place?
I'm going to say around the time of Kennedy. When a lot of Democrats went, Dixiecrats changed over to become Republicans.
So you're saying during the time of Kennedy, black folks started moving towards the Republican Party? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, or they believed in him.
Kennedy was a Democrat.
Yes.
So you're saying black folks. The question is, when historically did black people flee from the Republican Party? And you're saying that was when Kennedy, at the times of Kennedy. Okay.
Around that time.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Also, FDR way before that. But I'm not sure if they changed all the way at that time.
Yeah. So during, Reconstruction after so-called Emancipation Proclamation, our people voted almost 100% the party of Lincoln. They switched over in 1932.
Okay, FDR.
It's a presidential contest between incumbent Republican President Herbert Hoover and the Democratic FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. They said this was a turning point. During his first term, Hoover had tried to ingratiate himself with Southern segregationists. Kind of like what Biden's done his whole career. And his administration had failed to implement economic policies to help African Americans laid low by the Great Depression. Still, Hoover, and we're not talking about Larry Hoover, received between 2/3 and 3/4 of the black vote in the northern urban wards.
Goodness.
So, right, in the north. Okay. Most black voters sided with Republicans less out of loyalty than because they were loath to support a candidate whose Democratic Party had zealously suppressed their political rights in the South.
Right.
African Americans mistrusted FDR because of his party affiliation, his evasiveness about race in the campaign, and his choice of his running mate, House Speaker John Nance Garner of Texas.
Okay, that's making more sense. I remember the Great Depression, the FDR, yep. Way before JFK, but...
Yeah, but that's weird, man. They still didn't trust him because of the way he was moving.
Well, I mean, hey, shouldn't have trusted him. I mean, you can't trust either side as far as I'm concerned out yet. So you know me, I'm independent. So I don't trust either of them. I got to figure out which one is going to fulfill my interest.
I hear you. FDR, he had that, what was
New
that?
Deal.
There it is, that New Deal.
He started a lot of stuff, a lot of Social Security type stuff, and all of that, where he was set up these systems that we still under to a certain degree. So it's like, yeah, and it's not much change. That you might get more money, but
well, you can get a job and some debt, and the debtor is slave to the lender.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so it was, they're saying in 1932, around that time, our ancestors and elders got together and switched in droves and won that election, literally won that election for FDR, and was able to unsuit Herbert Hoover.
Yeah, every election.
Yeah.
If they promise something or they don't, they get out there and vote.
Yeah. And I wanted to comment on that quote of the day, which was, the colored voters cannot help but feel that in voting the Democratic ticket in national elections, they will be voting to give their endorsement and their approval to every wrong of which they are victims, every right of which they are deprived, and every injustice of which they suffer. So that quote was made during these times. So when they were when the Democratic Party was trying to win our vote over.
He was trying to make sure that didn't happen, huh?
Yeah, he was just basically explaining that what the hesitation was. Like, you guys have had your knees on our neck. And I mean, when you fast forward till today, and this is the same logic and reasoning that people say to me, you got to vote, and you got to vote Democrat, and you got to, because it's the lesser of two evils. And
Hey. Can we get something for our vote? If we can't, then you know, I mean, I'm cool, because y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do anyway.
Yeah, pretty much, and use us to do it.
Yeah, this system got to get washed.
Yep. And so, as you guys can tell, we're covering Black Republicans. Why the resurgence during these turbulent times for B1? Who or where do you think this stereotype of Black conservatives started? You know, the Oreo, the drinker of Clorox. So the question is, who and where do you think this stereotype? Who seeded this?
I really don't know. Was it in the 60s or something when they started calling people out? I don't know if it was before that.
Well, I'm not asking for the time frame, but that's if it is the 60s, then I think that's probably right. Then, you know, but who was doing it? Would you say it was the Panthers? Was it our grassroots? Like, where did this come from? That because someone votes a certain way, that they're sellouts.
Seemed like the art and the
Hollywood
political, and the political agents that were put in place that were leading different.
That's what I'm thinking. It came from the Democratic Party. It's so diabolical, Self. Maybe they said we can condition or program these African Americans to believe that they're sellouts if they don't support the KKK. Back to what you're saying, and then they would have these agents and these preachers and these members of the Democratic Party but they look like me.
Yeah, and they take the good. They gon' you hear them? They gonna give us some rights
and some welfare. So I mean, like, all skin folk and kinfolk.
Yeah, that's true to the max.
Yeah, so I'm just, just for conversation's sake, just wondering where this came from. My mom's, made her transition. I'd love to know, like, because, right, even during that time, you're saying the 60s, this wouldn't have been too many years removed from us knowing what the Democratic Party was all about. So it took 30 years, one generation, to go from that quote of the day,
Yeah.
to if you don't vote for them, you ain't black.
No more than 30 years, around almost 90, right? But I get the whole
Well, no,
point.
from the 30s to the 60s.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That was Biden, right?
That was Biden who said it, but it's the same. If we're saying in the 60s that we started calling our black Republicans coons, then that's the same thing as saying if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
I got you.
So that's essentially 30 years.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
It don't take long if you get the children.
You've been saying it. The
You got to
education,
indoctrinate in the schools.
the art. Yeah, yeah.
Even now, that's why they, got both parents going to school, work, so that they can indoctrinate your children. And it don't take but one generation, maybe two. And your children come home and challenge you on what you know because of what they got taught in school.
Yeah, I remember my dad said they both ain't shit. This was in the 90s when I was rallying for Bill Clinton. He signed that awful, what was that?
Crime
American
deal,
Free Trade.
Oh, that too. NAFTA.
Yeah.
And them crime bills.
Oh, yeah.
That Biden put together.
Yeah, but Bill Clinton played the saxophone and said he smoked a little reefer, so it made it cool.
We just gonna treat the blacks like they don't matter. We just act like we do. We go and say, hey, they smoked a little pot.
His father-in-law was KKK.
His family was too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's in that position.
But definitely Hillary's dad was, and she was a former young Republican. Like, what must he have been like for her father to accept him? They must have had some good conversations over saxophones and reefer.
That was a joining of families, so they didn't care about how they acted together. They were getting married so he could be president. And
I don't think her dad would have let her marry some N-word lover.
Well, hey, it was all set up, so that's the whole thing.
All right. So, you said around the 60s, and that's when the whole movement was going on, the second movement leading into civil rights. So, yeah, I would think that it was the opposite party, in that case would have been the Democrats, funding this type of mindset. Because, if you look at it, no other, like even Hispanics, 30% of them, like 28% of them traditionally vote Republican. I don't know if I've ever heard one Latino say, if you don't vote Democrat, you're a coon or a sellout.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know what they say to each other, period, but I've never heard that, so.
Right. Never seen it in art or in the movies or on the internet or anything of that nature.
Right. Well, definitely not about the voting Republican part.
Right. Or not voting Democrat, I should say.
Right. They will call out people, though. But it don't be on that.
Right. All right. Well, before we go into halftime, I think we've named some, but can you list some stereotypes associated with our black conservative brethren?
I mean,
cornball jumps out at me.
Yeah, coon is called out. Uncle Tom, erroneously.
Uncle Tom, oh my God, yeah.
Erroneously Uncle Tom, but
Uncle Remus.
It should be Sambo, but
Correct. Erroneously, Uncle Tom. Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
It should be Sambo. I mean, then
Uncle
you
Tom
have
was
it
a hero.
right. They don't know that, and they calling these people that, betray us all or what have you. And some of them do, all of them don't. I mean, and we gotta have. How can we have all our eggs in one basket anyway? So, but back. Sorry about that part. The names, Sambo, Coon, somebody else lover, for lack of a, I don't want to say what they.
Well, I never.
Sellout is huge.
I remember saying to my mom, once I realized, okay, what conservative and liberal meant.
Yeah.
And so we're voting to give more power to a government that has used the Gatling gun. And worse, right?
Yeah.
To support white supremacy. And we constantly vote for a more liberal government, a government to have more powers and more control. Not that, hey, self-love, we've done shows on big corporate. We got a series going on big corporate. So we're not saying, big corporate is the answer.
Not at all.
I always had an issue, though, with giving the United States government super governing powers.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to go and dig through all these layers of crap that they've put in all of these laws.
You're right.
And clean that all up. It's got to be washed, man. It can't go on like this. The two parties are against us. They're not for the people at all.
Two parties, one eagle. I mean, two wings, one eagle.
Yeah. Heads and tails on the same coin.
Yeah. Animals and pretty boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's levels to that.
But the goal would be the same. The animals and the pretty boys sat at the same meeting.
Oh, yeah. No.
And voted on the same stuff.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but you guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. We got a great second half coming up here. Stretch your legs. We're shortening up these shows, so you guys know we're getting in and out. Brevity is the soul of wit. Bill Shakespeare, who was a black man.
Yes, sir. Y'all know how this go. Self Luv Show. Black Republicans. Why the resurgence during these turbulent times. Got into the history of it, and when we changed from Republican to Democrat. And second half, we're going to explore way more. But during this time, we have some great videos for you to check out. And we'll be right back at you.
It's halftime.
What's the point of life? Lord, why do we do it? And what's the point of strife? Pimps and whores see right through it. They see fluid. All Johns ain't saints, and St. John knew it. Tricks of preachers, 12 disciples, and so-called druids. See, solid. Get married and have shorties after college. So what's the point? Vibrate love, go share knowledge. Silence is violence.
Stupid is as stupid does. Join the Give Back Gang Alliance. Gang, gang. Dr. such and such and such and such from such and such. You know himself?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think the people today, I think we don't feel like we have the power.
Yeah.
Right?
I concur with you.
I think we sit around and we say, man, did you hear about what those guys did with the mayor and all those guys, what they signed, the laws they enacted today? And we sit around and say, yeah, ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. Okay. I mean, right? And then, you know, when we do protest, we're on Michigan Avenue or something like that. But we're not at the mayor's house. You know, if your alderman voted and signed off for some nonsense, right?
Yeah.
It behooves the people. Somebody, a Mahdi.
Get in his face.
Yeah. Throw him out of office.
Well, first, get in his face and, you know, let him know about this pleasure. And
you know,
then I'm not talking about a protest. I'm talking about Silverback having a conversation.
Me personally, I'm beyond warnings. And if somebody signs something that's completely retarded for the people that voted them into office, that person has an agenda. I don't have time to talk about conspiracy this, conspiracy that. You cannot come back into this office. You're not welcome. And we let the city figure out what the city's going to do.
Yeah, well.
That is what the political process is all about. Otherwise, they just keep getting bags of money and you keep perpetuating the same system. I mean, if I'm going to the bank self and all everybody's doing is getting in my face and they're saying, you know what? We know you got a whole lot of money and we're watching you. We're all out here. No, by the time the people get together, listen, by the time it comes to that, it has to be known that they're not here for any talking or any warnings or anything of this nature. I'm not saying violence. I'm saying that you are no longer employed for us. And we're going to have an immediate election and everybody can say, well, no. Well, then this office will be empty. Bruh, that's what it takes, man. Outside of, you know, revolution, which we're not about. So, I mean, seriously. And it goes all the way up to the mayor, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I digress. Yeah. I'm passionate about these local politics. So since we are talking about big slavery, I did want to, you know, throw out there, you know, Self Love and I, you know, 9,000, you guys got to subscribe, man. Get people to subscribe.
Subscribe.
I mean, seriously.
Subscribe.
All right. When we get to 9,999 subscribers, we're going to spark a change. You know, initially we were looking at the macro. Self Love and I now we're looking at the micro. If we're about, you know, local politics, then we're going to be about local politics. So we will spark change, and that change will be locally to the city of Chicago at 9,999 subscribers. Change starts.
The world.
Yeah, but it starts where? At the crib.
Yes.
Yeah.
With each of us at the crib.
Starts at the crib, man. You know, we're looking way too far off, bro. Right? You know, we got these juries, right? And then the in a criminal case, for instance, and then the pink, you know, prosecutor, you know, has to now explain their version of what this slang is and things of that nature, right? Well, by the time they have to explain it to these people, neither of them are peers.
Right.
It could all be a fairy tale. This is why, you know, we have to start being part of the process, people. It's not cool to get out of the jury pool. That's not cool. it's not cool. It's no longer acceptable.
We need a jury of our peers. So, I mean, yeah, you know, most of the time it's us in these situations.
Correct. They never select me for jury pool.
Can't leave it to others to decide our
We
fate.
can't leave it to the KKK.
Man, to decide our fate.
We can't. You know, we can't leave it to the KKK. Sit down, sit in there and listen to them give words, right? And this is something I want to say because, you know, I reached out to Elijah. You know, that's the revolutionary, bro. Oh, no clothes snuck up on me there.
Woo!
Yes, sir. That's right. The Self Luv Show.
Good stuff.
Black Republicans. Why the resurgence during these turbulent times for us? No. We're going to explore more. We talked about where it transitioned to what it is. And I'm sure we're going to explore why. Some of the reasons why. Big ups to Trife Mac.
Trifo.
Need to get him back on. Keep saying it. I need to call him.
Yeah, reach out to that brother. See how that brother doing, man. Hey, this topic reminds me when I was doing an Uber ride, and I had a couple brothers from L.A., South Central, in the whip, and they both told me they was voting for Donald Trump. Yeah. I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. They had their reasons.
Yeah.
They were talking about, close this window out there. They was talking about the black and brown is not down, and the, you know, the Hispanics replacing us, so to speak. They were talking about how the public school system is overflowing with Hispanics, and those kids gotten to the point where they're bullying the black kids, and the black kids have to mob up just to get home safely. Nobody talks about that on the news, so.
Of course not.
Doesn't fit the narrative?
No, not at all. You know, it's kind of like when they close down the schools and make them all go to school together. And it's one way bigger than the other, you know what I mean? And
yeah, it creates friction.
Yes.
In real time, and then criminal cases and people's lives are being ruined over nonsense.
Facts.
So that's when I was like, man. And it wasn't just those brothers. Those brothers are kind of like, you know, everyday black man, you know, but there was a couple of professional type brothers too. Told me the same thing.
I mean,
and oh, go ahead. And they were anti-Biden, but go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Hillary and all that.
They are like sick of not getting anything for a vote. You know what I mean? And it's not required to them to offer you anything for your vote. They just expect your vote and don't do anything. And they haven't done anything for quite some time. So, in my opinion, but
they don't even offer anything.
Yeah, but I definitely
they talk about student loan forgiveness, and more pink people benefit from that than poor blacks, and then 10 stacks. What's 10 stacks in today's economy?
Man, I don't know, because I paid mine off before that ever happened.
Right. Are they going to give you 10 stacks, a check for 10 stacks? They should.
No.
You know what I mean? They
That's
should.
only if you had debt. If you
Right.
paid it off, they didn't care about that part.
Right. And you remember your boy Ice Cube tried to get a meeting with those guys, and we just got to win the election.
Yeah, and then after the election, no, we don't need to have that talk.
No. What has been done with police reform?
I don't know, but I see a whole lot of, it's still going on the same way that they say, oh no, we've got training and, can't do this anymore. Can't do that anymore. And they still are doing what they're trained to not do anymore. I ain't seen any improvement.
No. And we have a president that doesn't adamantly speak out against what's happening to his voters.
Yeah, he
speaks opposite. He was talking about, we're not defunding the police.
Yeah, I mean, he's I don't want to call him a demon, but that's what is coming to mind. But
well, his mentor was the Grand Wizard of the KKK, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Exactly.
He eulogized them.
Yeah. I'm well aware.
Barry Obama, not that, he was perfect or did anything for us, but Barry Obama was adamant he didn't want that guy as his vice president.
I
He
know.
had to have that guy to balance out the Southern KKK vote. So they were able to put him in for the overplay for the underlay, so that some racists, dare I say, could feel comfortable. The racist Democrats from still holding on from the Dixiecrats would vote for Barry Obama.
Facts.
Jumping on my chair, showing out. Yeah, I mean, facts, bro. Like, but then when the election came up, they act like I was supposed to forget all of this. And you got to vote for him, but you're not voting for Obama's vice president. Obama hated him. I mean, it makes no sense.
None at all. I don't understand the whole competency of it. Well, maybe he can change. He hasn't.
He can't. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
He hasn't. His record proves it all the way through.
Yeah, he had the nerve to talk about his record. If I look at your record, you should be in jail.
Look at my record. Well, if he said, man, I look at your record, that's why I'm asking right now. Because goodness, your record is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want pink kids going to school with the little monkeys, and he was anti desegregation. Yes,
I know the whole time. Saying they're like insects. I mean,
yes,
roaches. You get them into your school system, and then you can never get them out. Quote.
And lock the savages up. They're savages.
And he was so proud. He said he could almost get life for jaywalking. He was proud.
And somehow
we're supposed to forget all of that part.
Oh, we're dancing and twirling canes and stepping, and AKs are all out there. Because Donald Trump was saying something about you. Donald Trump is Archie Bunker. If anybody hasn't watched All in Family, you need to watch that. He's a good, happy family racist. He's mentally slow. He would have been in the slow classes if he was in Chicago public schools. You know what I mean? And I apologize to anybody in developmental, special needs. I mean, that's what he is. He talks about your Arabs out there. You know what I mean? He talks about your Hispanics out there. He says he likes his black people. We're like Lionel to him. You know what I'm saying? We're like Lionel. So that's my analogy. But so I started that. I was talking about what are some of the motivations why cats are switching parties, and so that leads right into that question. You went into it. We're talking about it now.
The dissatisfaction of this fraction or faction of the Democratic Party. I mean, it's just
they're shitting on us. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
they're
it's
shitting on us.
Complete bullshit that we get from lies after lies, campaign after campaign, saying what they're gonna do, and everybody. The worst part is all the excuses. Just let them, just let them, give them a chance.
Well, now we got to focus on the war in Ukraine.
You got to give him a chance, and he showed his loyalty was day one when he was signing executive orders for different situations. Day one, so he can do what he want to do. They spending all this money somewhere else, money that could eliminate poverty in America. They're giving away. I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well,
can't do it. Can't win with them. I won't do it. Will not. Can't.
Yeah, they're pooping on us like Singletary allegedly pooped on the floor out there in front of his team.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, Mike Singletary is a Chicago legend.
Yes, he
love
is.
Mike Singletary.
Yes, we do.
He used to sit there, see him through his helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had more than an alligator. They were putting something in his water. You know what I mean? I'm no food, no siree. Allegedly. He might have not known it, but Buddy Ryan was juicing all them boys up. Ain't no way in hell. They were playing week after week. But, there's some other concerns. So, like, there's something to be said, to the rundown. You can't ignore that. Democratic-run cities. I always say that those cities are typically contained within Republican-run states, and the funding is usually gerrymandered, redlined. But it's just excuses. You said it, man. They're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're like Charlie Brown. That's the black community, right? And we're gonna kick that football.
The whole system is Lucy.
Yep. And they gas us up before every election. That was the election cycle, wasn't it? So
yes, you're gonna kick
that.
We're gonna kick the ball, baby, this year.
And every year, Chuck's like, "No, I ain't going." But Danny, I ain't going. Going. And Lucy just gasses him up.
Gives it all he got.
Don't he? Don't he? He's put it all into it. Oh, it lands right flat on his butt.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs at him.
All on his head, all butt, all that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Flips completely over. I'm gonna kick that ball. I'm gonna kick it. This time. I'm gonna kick it.
But obviously, it's got to be a ruse, though. Okay, I mean, like, the Republican Party, like, is that the answer? Well, I'm not really. This is kind of a rhetorical question, but you know what I mean. It's the same game that the Democrats played to win us over. So let's just say if we all 90% of us decide to start voting Republican, I predict the same shit.
I mean, yeah. That's why it's gotta wash. I mean, that's all. I don't know what's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen, but it can't stand as it is. It's falling apart.
You mean the Republic?
the corporation.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That's what I'm.
It's a shell game. It definitely can't
Yes.
stand. You can't just keep
It's-
printing money. Yeah.
Yeah, the corporation, not the republic. The republic, they're not even dealing with the republic. They, we the people have to, establish the republic. But this corporation it's got to fail, and they're accelerating the failure of it.
Yeah, so like if we're switching parties just because of what the other party is not doing, that's not the answer. Right? It's got to be about what they're doing. So, Ice Cube was told that they didn't even want to hear from him and basically laughed him out of there, and the whole media attacked him. But then they got Cardi B. She remind me of Pebbles. They'll listen to Cardi B. And
They bring people that are not fundamentally from here,
Kardashian.
Yeah. Oh, did you? I know it's kind of off topic, but what Busta Rhymes said about that it ain't no culture here, and all of the Latino and Caribbean people bring the flavor to here.
Busta Rhymes is some sort of immigrant, ain't
he? Yes, his parents are Jamaican.
Yeah, but they don't understand that that's by design.
Man,
you average every
say
day.
That though is
well, he doesn't
crazy.
know better. You average him every day. I never felt him. You remember? I've never felt Busta. I never felt him. It's, it just wasn't for me. But he wasn't saying anything that motivated me. And period.
I'm just saying he didn't have no Jamaican accent the whole time. He,
yeah.
And using our culture to get whatever he did, whether you felt him or not, to get wherever he's at.
Yeah. But he don't understand that, your foundational Black Americans have seen it. We've been through that. We were cooned in the jazz and the blues and the rock era.
We did all of that. A lot of hip hop included. So.
Well, yeah, correct. But I mean, as far as, there's a reason why they're able to sign them to those bricks. And, because they say things like that in meetings with these people. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you're pointing out. Like, we're getting backstabbed. They could sit in a meeting like those N-words ain't shit and they're lazy and they need to pull themselves up by the bootstrap.
It'd be a whole lot of them that's in the media or in political positions that be like putting a halt on our reparations.
Yes. Putting a halt on anything. Because you remember I used to tell you this. It's kind of on topic, even about hip hop. When all those New Yorkers kept talking about the bag.
Yeah.
Even Dre said it. If you ain't doing it for money, what are you doing it for? I'm doing it for the culture, jackass. I'm doing it to grow my community, jackass. I'm doing it for these kids, jackass. But if you know what I mean? But if you ain't doing it for the money, I mean, I said it then. That's the definition of selling out.
Yeah, you did say that. Facts.
That's why I couldn't feel Nas. I love Nas, but that Firm and all of that. And they were glorifying the Italians and the Italian mafia and all that. I'm like, what is this shit?
Right. You ain't never lied, because we was around each other most of the time around that, and we ain't even
that didn't get no
listen
spin.
to that shit.
No,
I didn't really listen to it. From what we heard, it was like, oh
no. But that again, that's like you said, it's those first generation, second generation immigrants. Their parents, have a heavy accent. You know what I mean? They weren't direct descendants of chattel slavery here in America.
Right.
Sure, they got it wherever they were from, but they've been conditioned, and programmed. And they come over here, and America is America, and it's all good, baby, and just get your money, baby. No.
It is what it is, bro. I can't
But
I
when
don't want
did
to hate
Buster?
on them. I love them.
It's
This
all
is very
love.
recent. He was doing like I think it was called Latin Soul. He was at a
Yeah.
Latin Soul event, and they were interviewing him. So he was bigging up the Latin in the Caribbean and saying that there was no, they made all the music and culture in America.
Like, you think there was no music before y'all start coming y'all ass over here?
Well, he know. That's the whole thing. He know. That's why I'm like, that was pathetic, because he know, and it ain't like he don't know. He know. He just said what he said.
Yeah. All right. So I think we got to motivations. But okay. So we would know motivations for, okay, you're leaving this woman. You got all your motivations. But what's the motivation for the other woman? In this case, the Republicans.
Somewhat drinkage of Kool-Aid, and somewhat some things that were done that would somewhat.
Well, Trump did free some prisoners.
And
he did give some money to the black colleges, which is giving money to white people, though. But go ahead.
I mean, that's something that he said he would do, as opposed to the other that don't
we
deliver
can't do nothing.
nothing.
We can't even think about this. We got a big election coming up.
Deliver nothing.
Well, they delivered the Asian hate bill.
That's what I said. I mean, I'm talking about for us out there. That's what I said. That proved my whole point. They talking about give him a chance. He did that day one or something, didn't it?
Yep.
Wasn't it day one that he did that?
Yep. And where are all those people? Get by the chance. Where are they now?
Anti-lynching bill that he put, it's like a 5-year sentence or something, or maybe, I don't know. It's a conspiracy realist, but they might call me a theorist. Ain't lengthen, a murder. Like, if y'all deal with a lynching, it's a 5 years. Y'all just full of,
And Kamala Harris didn't even give a ski-wee when she got in office. I ain't heard one ski-wee out of her after all that those AKAs did for her. Stepping and shit. Not one, so. But she went to Howard, to AKA. She looked like us. Yeah. All right. I think we've done it. We've belabored that. Let's move on to past the motivation, since no Republicans are going to step up. All right.
Some in the chat. I mean,
they got nothing to say. I think Coach said he don't want to get canceled. He means by he said BCA, and that's Black Coons Anonymous. I believe that's what that means. But he said he doesn't want to get canceled, coming on TATN. If we were on Fox, though, they all be out here popping up and talking. Fox ain't in my box. All right. So, all right. So we did motivations. All right. So, and if you guys, let me know the motivations out there in the chat. Type it in there. What's your motivation for being GOP? What's your motivation? Why? This is the time to talk about it. Not when I wake up every morning with a million texts on my personal phone. And here we go. Yeah. All right. Who do you think, Self Love, is more to blame for the RNC resurgence? And let me say this. It's not a major resurgence, but it's a resurgence. And I just thought it was weird during these times that it would be surging. So who's more to blame, DNC or RNC? Go ahead, bro.
Democratic Party.
Why so?
Because they promise nothing, and they promise something and do nothing. So
yeah, they used to promise and do nothing. Now they've devolved into not even promising shit.
yeah, and doing less than nothing, while doing things for other people right in front of us that they promised them during the election.
Oh yeah, and always putting us on hold because they got to have democracy in the Ukraine, and we got to send the Ukraine billions and billions of dollars. So those people aren't
That's
poor.
completely amazing because this is not a democracy. I don't know why they trying to spread democracy and we don't even live under one. The hell is going on out there? I don't understand it, man. What's really going on out there? They convinced y'all that this is democracy. And they say it all the time. Yep, this democracy. This is not a democracy. They can lie about it as much as they want. The Constitution is not set up for that part.
It's supposed to be a republic, first of all, and it's not even that. But yeah, but I'm gonna say this. I personally was done with the Democratic Party before the Barack Obama election. I was done. I told everybody, my mom, rest her soul included, I'm done. I've seen enough of this shit. They'll never get another vote for me. And I think the Democratic Party knew it. And then they ran out there, Barack Obama. They ran him out there. And not on top of that stuff, I still wouldn't have voted for him, the black man. But then he coming out of Chicago. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, man. They ran Obama out there. And they knew they had to do something. And they ran Obama out there because I think it wasn't just me. I think the Democratic Party knew that they had messed up with the black community. And then when they ran that Obama out there and he was talking to those old black ladies talking about, and she couldn't vote. And, you know what I mean? And look at it. She went from being a mammy into, being an old mammy. You know what I mean? And Barack was saying those words. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody was crying.
We can.
Yeah.
All of that.
Hope not dope. He basically had Jesse Jackson's campaign. Preaching hope. But then he lost me when he sold out his church.
Hey, man. He was designed for that position. They had set him up the whole time. They wasn't finna let a church, That was so he could get the Soul Brothers. He went there. Yeah, he went there. He went there, man. He down. He down.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I was done, man. So they did a good thing with that, and then I guess they figured now we're throwing Biden and Kamala Harris, right? You know what I mean? We're throwing Biden and Kamala.
They're all together, so They threw Trump so we could get Biden. They had
Correct.
Obama so you could get Trump. And then they had Trump so you could get Biden.
Correct. It's always, I said it years ago. It's always about the vice president. That's how that first Bush, who was the leader of the CIA.
Yeah.
They had a president that was the ex-director of the CIA. Can you believe it?
Yes. And vice president for twice, I think. First. Yes. And then president.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was... And then his son became the next president, not the next one, after the next one.
For 2 terms.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to get reelected until 9/11.
Oh, no. Yeah.
9/11 boosted his numbers.
Oh, man. Because never mind.
Well, I don't think we've covered 9/11. Have we covered 9/11 on this show? We haven't.
Okay.
I don't think we did a show on 9/11, Self. We need to break down 9/11. Which happens to be, somebody's birthday that's close to me,
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to do a show on that. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll cover 9/11. Was it a farce? Especially since I'm going to Pearl Harbor out there.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it what do they call that? A deep fake? What do they call it, Self? Not a deep fake.
Oh, man. I had it until you
said
deep fake.
Friendly fire? No, not friendly fire.
You know, red flag.
False flag.
False flag.
False flag. Yes. Yes. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that if we don't have a guest next week. We do have a guest lined up for the following week, but next week could be 9/11, fact or fiction. All right. We're not saying nobody died. We're not saying that. We're just saying fact or fiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Did planes fly into the buildings and cause them to come down like that?
And was anybody on those planes? Because we know we have drone technology, and that could easily fly planes into buildings. I mean, easily, you know. But it could have been passengerless. We've seen pictures of passengers, you know,
and they
who are alive now. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of them, and they have very good, like the images of Tupac doing the show or whatever are nothing on the real technology that they have for that. So there's a question if there was even planes that flew into.
Yeah, and you remember the recordings of the passengers, those perfect telephone conversations from the plane.
Yeah.
Hi, I love you, and I'm on the plane, and.
I don't know what's going to happen. We have been hijacked. And us making this phone call might make the plane go down. All of us.
Yeah.
No, that's crap anyway.
We could be doing something about it right now, but I'm just calling you.
That is crap that you can't make phone calls and all that on the flight. I don't know what that. You know.
But rest in peace to all who perished, and condolences to the family.
Yes.
All right, but so you blame... I think that I agree. It's the DNC more than RNC because they haven't really done much to move me over. And I'm independent, so I put the blame squarely on the Democratic Party and their cronies and puppets that have been lying to the black Americans since 1932. I believe they're still Dixiecrats. They're still the party of the KKK. Not to mention that the RNC is infested with KKK. Right. So you're asking me to vote for one KKK over the other KKK. And I'm just saying I'm having issues with that. What would it take, Self, for you, with that being said, for you to support any given party, meaning the Republican parties or the Democratic Party? What would it take, honestly?
I wouldn't support the party as a whole, but I will support a candidate that will accommodate something for our community.
What it would take for me, reparations. Any candidate. That candidate could be from Pluto, from the Pluto party. And if that candidate is talking about reparations for foundational black Americans, not Busta Rhymes, I'm voting. Whether they're Republican, Democrat, Green Party, whatever, if reparations is on their agenda and they're promising to vote yay on reparations, that's what it would take for me to support one of these parties, because the rest of it is all hogwash. And at the end of the day, it's all hogwash, a bunch of lies. Not saying the reparations wouldn't be a lie, but that's what I need to hear if anybody's listening from any of these parties. Reparations. When do we want it? Now. Cut the crap. Cut the check. That's what it would take for me to support any given party. Coach said, what have you got to lose? My dignity, Coach. My dignity. My ancestors would be rolling over in my grave, you know.
Why pick a side when they both against you? So,
well,
just use what you know, try to figure out what you want, but you ain't got to pick a side just because you anti-Democrat.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point, Self. It's like if you're not a member of any social group, right? And you're a neutron, as we call it in Chicago, you know, why are you picking a side? I mean, you may pick a side because it's in your neighborhood, but in this case, they're both in your neighborhood. Hmm. All right. All right, Self. So my summary on this is I don't still clearly understand. Well, I do. I do understand why a small percentage, less than 5%, of the Democratic Party, blacks have moved over to the Republican Party, even willing to vote for Trump or what's his name? He's got the CTE. He's down there running in Georgia. He's got multiple personalities. Herschel Walker. No, seriously, he said it. He said he's get bullied as a kid, and
no, man, I thought you were talking about somebody completely else. And then you said Atlanta, and then I'm like, and he said Herschel.
This guy said he's got multiple personalities, and they help him get through certain situations, and people are voting for him. But
yeah, he's an issue, bro. That man, his record?
I know.
Yeah, he just lies all the time.
Yeah, he
That's
sat
why
there
they love him.
and made a speech about deadbeat black daddies, and then it came out that he's a deadbeat black daddy multiple times over, and had money though, and was rich. You know, a lot of our deadbeats out there don't have shit.
He act like he don't have that. He denied it all the way up until.
Well, that's when he started talking about the
after
multiple
paternity.
Yeah.
After paternity.
Yeah. And then he revealed that he's got multiple personalities, like 9 of them. And this guy could be a senator. A senator. It's a farce.
Yeah, we gotta watch this thing. It's gotta get watched.
But yeah, my summary on this is I can't, I used to refer to those people as Oreos, but I can't do that. I still think it's a level of monkey shimes to be voting that way, but it's just as much a level of monkey shimes to be voting for the Bidens and the Kamala Harrises of the world. Moultrie said before Trump ran for president, blacks loved him because he had money and moving into his Trump towers, R. Kelly, D. Rose, Steve Harvey, etc. Well, I'm black, and I always knew he was a racist. And I used to ask every black that I knew that was watching his shows and promoting him, why do you watch that? He's a racist. I remember the Central Park Five because my memory isn't recent memory, Moultrie. So blacks did not love Donald Trump. Blacks who paid attention did not love Donald Trump. They knew he was a racist. There was a lot of Yakun rappers, like Self Luv reference, most of them from New York City, who started rapping about him and putting him in music. Trump got money. He got money, and he's about New York. Yeah. But those, if you dig deep, they were probably first-generation Americans, and they weren't foundational black. Because we don't support people who call us savages and want to keep innocent black people in jail for allegedly raping a white woman when they had no evidence and it turned out they were innocent. We can't forget that just because they have a TV show and they have a lot of money in Trump Towers. Now, those people you indicated, R. Kelly, kidding me right now? D. Rose, Steve Harvey, are you kidding me right now? All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, is he kidding me?
No, he's very, very serious.
All right. So that's all I got. You got any summaries of,
You summed it up pretty good.
All right. Yeah.
But, it's No, I'll save it for my final words out there.
All right. So you guys, do your research. I feel like, we need to all be independent or vote whatever party we want to outside of the two big ones. I feel like it's a civil war in this country that never stopped. And those parties, they'll come crawling to us to win an election. You have to take it on the chin. We take it on the chin every single election cycle.
No matter who wins.
Correct. So let's take it on the chin, and no matter who wins, let's take it on the chin, and all vote for Brother Wordsmith or something like that. And then they'll say to themselves, man, if we can get Brother Wordsmith's votes, if we can get his endorsements, and then Brother Wordsmith will go right in there in the White House, you know what I mean, and tell them, damn it, reparations.
Cannot do it without reparations.
That's right.
Will not do it.
That's right. Reparations. Up and down the ticket. If Herschel Walker has to win, then Herschel Walker just has to win, because that black guy that's running against him is not talking reparations or anything for the black community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Herschel Walker's advisors or the manager of all the personalities has to figure out that reparations is important, because
that guy's got CTE, man. And I'm not making light of it, but oh man, he says he's get bullied, bro, and that's why he developed schism. It's schizophrenia, man. But he said he's got up to 9 multiple personalities.
How many push-ups did he used to do a day? It was
1,000.
Man.
Never lifted a weight. 1,000 push-ups. Those bullies must have been on him.
Man.
And that's why he's a self-hating black man, because the bullies were probably black.
And he was fast, too, because...
Yeah, running from the bullies.
It's like a dodge.
Going home doing push-ups.
Sorry to make light of it, but bullying is real and it shouldn't be allowed, but it was once we grew up.
Yeah, but this party, man, the Democrats, they reach out, and but Herschel Walker is getting, man, I be texting them back, man, I'm independent, and unless you're talking reparations, erase this number from your phone. I don't even live in Georgia. What the fuck are you talking about right now?
Yeah.
Right? But they try to make it a big national picture.
Yeah, man. Every one I ask them about what's the take on reparations.
Yeah,
if you ain't talking that, you can get on.
They're just trying to get into my emotions so you can write them a check. So,
and even if they talking about reparations, I'm probably not writing them a check, because I gotta see they work in action before,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because my money can
any financial backing. Yep.
Elsewhere. I agree, bro. All right, so let's jump to the dome teaser. What is 3/7 chicken, 2/3 cat, and 2/4 goat? Self Love?
Chicago.
Yeah.
It was based on chicken is 7 letters and it's 3, so CHI.
That's right. Shy.
And then it was 2 a cat.
2/3 cat,
which is CA, and then 2/4
goat,
or half a goat, which is GO.
Bro, I'm shocked you got that though, man, because I said this one's gonna be more difficult. I saw you had to think it through a little.
I said I had to write it down, and then you brought it right back where I didn't have to write it. I could see the words, because I knew when it was the fractions of the words, and I need to look at the word, because.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah, you got to write it down.
Yes, I'm like, damn, chicken is 7 letters, so.
And then I thought the chat would get it when I said it's something that's dear to our heart. And you were right. You said they wouldn't figure it out.
No, that one was difficult. And I needed to write it down, but I didn't need to write it down because you came right back.
Hell, I knew the answer, but I had to look at the key again before I can come back with it, So All right. I think I got to know what the answer is when I'm giving the riddle, and then you be somehow plucking it out of my brain.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, though. So that was today's brain teaser. That was the key. You guys, so next week, if we don't have a guest, as we said, we're going to cover 9/11 false flag. Was that an internal event?
Come back next week and find out.
Yeah. Who would have benefited from such?
Wow.
Yeah.
About a building that didn't get hit.
Yeah.
Burned to the ground.
A building that was specially designed not to burn to the ground. That was designed to withstand temperatures greater than that little bit of jet fuel that would have possibly hit it.
All of those buildings were regulated for that part.
On 9/11, NORAD, our air defense system, was all the way here on the West Coast doing drills, a scenario that was the exact same scenario that was happening on the East Coast. Exact same scenario.
Yeah.
Pulled all of them, didn't keep any of them to protect that airspace. I mean, you got the Pentagon, for God's sakes. You got New York City. You got the White House. But they pulled them all to the West Coast, Self.
Yes. And, hey, maybe I'm a dummy, but I sure am a conspiracy realist.
Oh, man. So we're going to break that down next week unless we get a surprise guest. But either way, 9/11's coming. We'll get a promo video out accordingly. And
explosive date. It's an amazing date,
Oh, yes. Absolutely. 911, that's the number for emergency. But that all being said, tomorrow's Mouthpiece Included has been canceled. Myself and the co-host were both going to be in the air at that time. Well, we'll both be in the air at that time, so.
Right. It's has to happen, and it's going to be a great show the following week. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll have some Bears to talk about, actual games.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, been waiting a long time for that. You know what I mean? So you guys, enough of my yapping. I'm going to turn this over to my brother to my right for Wordsmith's final words out there.
When I think about the political affliction that's put upon us, so-called two-party addiction, I can't comprehend that. Because to me, it's the Democrats and the Republicans. Two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin, working together. So I could never claim either.
Facts.
I gotta figure out and pick and choose whose spirit is right for me from the ether. I give neither any allegiance because it's all blind. You need to look into your own mind. Start taking these labels.
And listening to these fables.
They all placeholders. It's just stories that's written. Ain't nothing real about them.
Flesh.
We gotta meditate and remember our own. And get rid of the bullshit that they clone.
Flesh.
It's not us, more of us. Let's explore us. Like they do, because they know more than we do. And that's on us. It's time we crush all these lies and all the BS that they say. But I don't even know how to do that today. We got to start with our children because that's how they made us these slaves in the first place.
Flesh.
We need a nationality. Forget about race. We got to stop calling ourselves black. It's dead, in fact. Nationalize, work together. So, make sure that we sever all the BS from these nations that's holding us back, calling us Negro and black. We were called American Indians before that, and that's a fact. Still a misnomer. We're tribes. They gave us these brands and persona. And that's what we need to get back to. So we can get back to our land and evict these foreigners. On my words, that's what I stand for. Words.
Words. It's powerful. Off the rip.
It's my gift.
His gift to you. All right, so I'm gonna have to try to get through this. I lost the the paper. You got a picture of that? You send me
I
a
do.
picture? Yeah, send me a picture right quick. Hey, you guys, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Man, last week, so after the show, I have no idea. I lost the entire demo, bro. So I was able.
Wow.
Yeah, I went through and got the recording off of the intro, but I forgot to do the outro. That's crazy.
You know how life goes, especially when you know getting to go on a grand situation.
It just disappeared. Like, come on,
Hey,
man.
stuff disappeared. Like while we were on, I was like, that video.
Well, let me ask you a question. Michael Jordan ones, when they came out, it was like, I got it, 83, 84, something like that. How much were they? Retail.
I don't know, man. I don't know why in my mind it seemed like they was like $100.
Yes. Bro, this is what am I calling it?
125 max.
It was 100. This was the Mandela effect, because I remember, begging my mom, rest her soul, for a pair. And you remember stuff, they were stealing people's shoes, shooting for them. They was $100. So I was in a chat, and some of the young guys were saying that I was capping. And I Googled it, and it said they were like $39.99. I'm like, no bullshit. I was like, the ones was like $30, $39 then. But when he dropped those Air Jordan ones, they was $100 from Go. They were the first pair of shoes, sneakers, that were $100.
Yeah.
He poured a ball.
$39.
I Googled it, bro. And I'm like, wow. But it's the other brothers my age in the chat was like, no, there was 100, no cap. That's Mandela effect.
Yeah, that's that, the looking glass. They keep trying to change stuff and still go to the same result, though. So y'all got to leave this planet. So just so you know.
Facts.
Keep messing with the timeline, though.
Keep trying.
Crazy. No, they mess with the timeline. I mean, it don't end up in their favor, but be like, what? No, man, this happened. And yeah.
Bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, man. An eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
You see something, say something.
F12, FGB, F12. Slave theory. Greed plus ego over fear. That's slavery.
Charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Do not, under any circumstances, regardless of what you heard, what you've been told, do not answer questions, man.
And make sure, under every circumstance, at all times, you question everything.
Fear is an illusion. It's all cap.
Yeah, man. It's all it is love. So vibrate love.
Forgiveness is the highest love vibration.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy. End the beef.
End it now. Put the blicks down. Drop those sticks. Healthy people. Heal thy people.
Recognize that hurt people usually try to hurt people.
Free the old man. Free Jeff Fort.
Man, free Larry Hoover.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison is slavery.
Facts. Be like St. Pedro. Keep your eyes on Yahusha. And you too will be walking atop H2O.
Yeah, man. You focus like that, you can move mountains.
What's it take to move a mountain, bro?
All you need is the faith of the mustard seed, according to the good book.
Wow. That mountain?
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Yeah, that one right there.
Being the one is
Right up on out the way.
No one can tell you you're in love.
If we decide.
Through and through. Balls to bones.
Love yourself.